Are you ready?
Quit time!
We are the best in the world at what we do.
It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show with Robert Price, Tom Malloy, and your host, Rich Lopez.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 34 of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. And happy Thanksgiving. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here at my two colleagues, Robert Price and Tom Malloy.
Hello, hello.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble. Like you said, it's Thanksgiving edition, and we're in such a giving mood that we are going to start off our show by giving our thoughts on the Survivor Series pay-per-view that took place this past Sunday. Spoiler alert for all you fans. I'm going to give my opinion right now. It was awful, so we'll hear what Tom and Price have to say. And then also, we're going to, as always, we're going to do a Raw recap. And then for our weekly topic discussions, we're going to talk about women's wrestling in WWE. Is this getting stale? Did the Divas Revolution actually fail already?
We're also going to have the PriMalLow Remake. Who would you have failing cashing in their Money in the Bank briefcase? And speaking of PriMalLow Remakes, we're also going to bring back Punch Their Ticket. This week, the cast of superstars will be past Money in the Bank winners.
Then we'll conclude our show with our Cell 5-5, our favorite stables of all time.
Hope you guys stay tuned. Like Price said, gobble gobble. And after this quick short break, we're going to continue with our recap of Survivor Series.
Degenerate into something fool. We just got tired of doing what you told us.
Okay, so Survivor Series took place 2 nights ago, and I already gave my spoiler in the lead off of the show. I said it was awful, but just to give everybody their fair shake, I'll let Price and Tom talk about it. But let me just run down the result of what happened down the card really, really quick. Dean Ambrose or Roman Reigns, they were successful in the semifinal matches against Kevin Owens and Alberto Del Rio, respectively. WWE Divas title match, Charlotte defeated Paige, which we found out somehow on Raw that she used the ropes. What happened, Price?
We found out on Raw that she used the ropes.
Yeah, that was stupid, I thought.
Her hands were outside the ropes. It was a weird concept.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze, they fought in a match that was added based on WWE.com, and Tyler Breeze took that with a new finisher, the Unprettier. Real quick, were you guys a fan of that or no?
It was like I didn't even see it.
I get it, and we'll explain why after. 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, that was also added on WWE.com. It was the New Day, Sheamus, King Barrett, going against Ryback, the Usos, and the Lucha Dragons. And the Ryback, the Usos, and the Lucha Dragons were successful. I think Sheamus was the last one left. New Day ran out from him, and that's how that ended. And then the two big matches were Kane and Undertaker versus the two members of the Wyatt family, where we found out it was Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. So we're going to talk about that after I discuss the WWE title match. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, who advanced after the semifinal matches. And Roman Reigns defeated Dean Ambrose clean, no heel turn, but then something happened after. And this is going to lead me to my first question. Did you guys enjoy seeing the cash-in from Sheamus before we get to any other thing? Tom?
Yes.
Why?
Because overall, I just think it was the right time for Sheamus to cash in. I don't think Roman Reigns is going to get the title to WrestleMania. And overall, Sheamus really doesn't cut the mustard to be WWE champion, even though I like him. I like him as champion. I like it.
Yeah, you weren't on board for it before, right? Until you saw it?
Not until I saw it happen. I like the way it was done.
Okay.
Because it's given people like him being champions, giving Rusev, him, and Wade Barrett that main event chance.
Okay.
3 of those guys together.
So you're saying after the fallout, you realize what they're doing?
From watching
with it?
Raw last night, I was okay with it.
Okay.
I was okay with it when I saw it happen because I was a Sheamus fan. Like when he first came in, I was like, all right, it's cool. Like he's a good heel.
Yeah.
And he did the heelish thing. Obviously cashed in. And I think if Seth Rollins was still around, it wouldn't have happened that way. I don't think.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Price, what do you think about the cash-in? Big fan of it or no?
I was a big fan of it.
Yeah? What? I
You know
thought you'd
why?
be so
2 for 2.
You know why?
That's crazy. Why?
Because I was right.
Oh.
But no, I was
Okay.
a fan of it because, like I was saying on our Twitter afterwards with fans, it was the lesser of two evils.
A heel.
Nobody wanted Sheamus to be the champion. Nobody wanted Roman Reigns to be the champion.
Yeah.
But
So
conclude on that,
why
though.
Tom said that Roman Reigns is going to be WrestleMania champion is because they're just doing exactly what they did with Daniel Bryan storyline.
2 years ago.
To the
where
T.
It is almost to the T.
But you
where-
think of it this way, though, too, is with Sheamus, I could just see him. It's the right time and place for him, I think, to be champion.
See, you'll find out in our PriMalLow remake why I wasn't a big fan of it, and I guess I'll just to shorten it up. I don't want to take too much of my information for the last segment, but I guess I understand what you're saying. But for me, like when you're saying like it was just a lesser of two evils, Price and Malloy, but for me, it's just like there was so much more you could have did with this. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the tournament was something new and fresh. You could have just saved that Money in the Bank for after Mania. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because this is the build-up to Mania, right? So that means Lesnar's going to be on the card, Cena's going to be on the card, all that. I feel like with the new talent, you could, we talked about it before the show, Molly, because we were waiting for Price. Like, you got to utilize the talent now, and I feel like pretty much Sheamus was just substituting Seth Rollins, and I feel like you could have made a new heel out of Ambrose or Reigns, and I feel like they should have used that. They should have went that route. Because whenever Sheamus is going to cash in, he's going to be heel anyway. So they could have just waited for a new rivalry after Mania.
Yeah, because I think that would have worked perfectly, too, for like an Extreme Rules rivalry.
Because Lesnar's not going to... Yeah, because Lesnar's not going to be there after Mania until SummerSlam.
Because I think the best thing would have been, overall, would have been Dean Ambrose winning the belt. And then when Triple H comes out to shake his hand, he shakes his hand, but then gives him a DDT. So he turned his back on his best friend, and he turns his back on Triple H. He does the Stone Cold thing, don't trust anyone gimmick. Yeah.
Or, like you said, we talked about it. But I feel like he should have... I mean, I always say it's either now or never. Well, it's either now or after Mania with Sheamus, and Vince likes to do the surprise championship things in the wintertime, so it makes sense from a historical presence. But I just think that because Lesnar's going to be back, and he's going to be in the title picture since he beat Undertaker, Cena's going to be back, and he doesn't have the U.S. title, so that means he might be in the title picture, that you already are crowding up this title picture when you could have just used what you have now and waited for Sheamus after Mania, where you don't know where Cena's going to be because you don't know he's doing other commitments and stuff like that, and then you already know Lesnar's not going to be there, so you could have saved that rivalry after Mania.
I disagree with you because I think that the cash-in right after Mania is so overdone. You had Ziggler do it. You had
Rollins. Okay, after that, who did it?
I'm just saying... The night after WrestleMania, we get that that's the biggest.
I'm not saying right after WrestleMania. I'm just saying right before Extreme Rules, or do it after Extreme Rules. Have Lesnar and Reigns have a fight at Mania. Nobody's done it at Extreme Rules.
No one's done it at SummerSlam.
Orton and Del Rio done it at SummerSlam.
And Daniel Bryan. I mean,
Daniel Bryan's never done it. He did
Orton cashed in on Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Nobody's done it at Extreme Rules. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so predictable. It's either going to be at WrestleMania, the day after WrestleMania, the day before, or whatever. Well, never going to be the day before, but the day after, or it's going to be in November or December, and it's stupid. I think they should do it. That's why nobody's ever done it at Rumble, and nobody has ever done it at I can't think of it. Sorry, Extreme Rules. So, what were you going to say, Bryce?
I was going to say, also the reason why I like Sheamus cash in was because all the attention was on this pay-per-view with the whole ISIS thing that was going on. And up until that point, I think the entire card was not good.
I didn't think it was good at all. And we'll talk about the other match after. Do you want to continue? I don't want to cut you off.
No, I just think that was pretty much the only thing that you could take away from this pay-per-view.
As a positive?
As a positive.
Okay, well, just... So we all agree that the pay-per-view was awful. So do you think Survivor Series has lost its, like, prestige as a Big Four? It's always Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. But I feel like Survivor Series has been kind of fading away lately. Do you think it's losing its prestige as a Big Four, Price?
I think it's the lowest one of the four.
Well, okay. But do you think it's going to the point now where it's like Big Three?
No.
No, you think it's still the Big Four?
I think Survivor Series still is one of the Big Four. I think that, it's not on a yearly basis that it's one of the best pay-per-views. So.
Okay, yeah. How about you?
I still think it's a part of the Big Four. I just think with the Survivor Series pay-per-view, especially over the past couple of years, it gives the younger guys a chance because you don't have the big heavy hitters there at that point in time. You don't have Brock Lesnar.
Because you're building it for Rumble.
Yeah, you don't have all those guys. You don't have Brock Lesnar. You don't have Batista. John Cena wasn't even there this year. So I mean, Triple H. None of those guys are wrestling on the card to take away limelight from Dolph Ziggler, Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose, so on and so forth.
Okay, and this is the last. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And also, I think that this card was hastily put together because of Seth Rollins going down.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the tournament obviously could have been better, but they just rushed into something.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. They really used WWE.com to build like a lot of their matches on the card, because last Monday on Raw there was only 3 matches. Do you know what I mean? Well, 4 technically. So, I mean, I didn't like that either. But all right, last question. What did you guys think about the Undertaker 25th anniversary match? It was Harper and Bray. Did you guys enjoy it at all, or
It was overhyped.
overhyped? Why? Why do you think that?
I think they put too much into it and got a little out of it. I think it was a good match. It was, Undertaker definitely did well during it. I think the Wyatts did and Kane did too, for a bunch of big men in the ring.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I wish it was kind of more a singles match, not the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
And the way they did it, I wish it was a 4-man match instead of
I
2.
100% agree with you on that.
I mean, there were some cool spots in that match. The choke slam on Strowman, and the ending of the match where he actually tombstone Luke Harper. I was actually surprised he actually was able to get him up.
Yeah, me too.
Because he barely got Bray Wyatt up for the choke slam. That's what I'm just trying to.
No, I completely agree. Price, how about you?
I like the match. I think it could have been better. I think that a 4-on-2 would have even been better. However, the way that they just destroyed Eric Rowan out for the entire match.
Yeah.
The Braun Strowman thing. Hopefully, it doesn't lead to a match with him.
I completely agree. That's what I'm scared of.
I just hope it's seen in.
But I think that the wrong people won in that match.
I can actually agree with you, because I was thinking, which leads me to my Raw recap, which we'll touch on briefly, because for me, I didn't think Raw was that good at all. It was actually kind of forgettable for me. Where do you think the Wyatts are going to go from here? They destroyed the Dudley Boys, which I was a little weary. Yeah, it was just really.
They can only go up from here.
Yeah.
They got the exposure from going against the Brothers of Destruction, the old timers. So I think that when it comes to Royal Rumble, we might see all 4 of them inside the ring at the same time.
You think so?
And they team up.
Okay. Well, what do you think of Raw?
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
I think that's being generous.
Yeah,
that was awful. Do you want to? All right, just last question regarding Raw and how bad it was, and just to cap up, all these recaps, I guess. Looks like Sheamus, Barrett, and Rusev, that stable that were together before Rusev got injured a month ago. I guess they're back together. Do you think they're going to be in the Authority and make like a new Authority-ish?
Oh yeah, it's the English Authority.
Yeah? Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
He's going to go back to his old gimmick.
Who?
Triple H when he first came in.
Yeah?
But anyways,
Love
did
that.
anybody see Rusev miss the splash in the main event?
I'm trying to think what it was.
And he gave a
I was
Shane
falling
McMahon
asleep during it.
elbow drop
Dude, you know how
with
I am.
just his wrist.
You know how I am with the elbow drops from Shane McMahon. I love those. I actually really wish Rusev gets kind of like a miniature push. It'd be really cool if he like somehow faced Sheamus like right after Sheamus loses the title, and that could be like a number 1 contenders match. But I don't know. I've always been a big fan of him ever since Rumble last year.
Even all 3 of them get a belt. I mean, that'd be cool because the Authority's never done that yet.
I know. That'd be really. I mean, Rusev and Bear get the titles or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll
the
never
tag titles, U.S. title,
Yeah.
Intercontinental title. Bring back the European title. I don't know, something
Well,
like
that's
that.
just too many titles. But
Everyone gets a title.
we'll see how Raw is next week. Hopefully, it's drastically improved.
Jurassic Park.
What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, my bad. When we come back, we're going to do our weekly topic discussion. This is going to kind of follow up with the Raw and how bad it was. It's going to include the women's division. Is the women's division getting stale again? Find out when we come back.
Hey, I'm Tom Malloy from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Do you like Facebook? Do you like wrestling? Like our page, search the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Enjoy.
Welcome back to this Thanksgiving edition of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. It is episode 34. We've made it 34 episodes straight so far. Well, not really straight. Maybe like 25 straight. Maybe we took those 2 hiatuses off, but nobody needs to know that. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here with Tom Malloy and Robert Price.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
And we are here to give you guys our weekly topic discussion that involves the Divas division in WWE. For me, I thought it was kind of a spark, in the summer with the Divas Revolution when Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte came up from NXT. And as these past couple of months, I feel like it's slowly fizzling out. And for me personally, it's kind of hit its breaking point for me. and that's why this is the topic discussion. So I just want to ask you guys, based on what has happened these past couple pay-per-views, and looks like the matches on Raw are getting shorter and shorter again. Pretty much how they used to be before the summer. Do you guys think? I'll start with Tom. Do you guys think that the Divas division is getting stale again?
Yes. There's just no more. There's no more pizzazz to it, I guess you could say. Overall, I just think, it's all right. They're not getting the time they should get. I think for once, in the past at least 7 years, there's divas that can actually wrestle. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like you have like Michelle McCool, who was not good.
She was actually okay.
Yeah, Layla, who was not good.
Layla was good too.
Yeah,
It was okay.
I wasn't just fans of them.
I just think you're not fans of divas.
I think the only person that was good in that whole generation was Beth Phoenix, but that's besides the point.
She was good. I like Deve Torres too.
Yeah, I think she was kind of anus too. But besides that, I think this is like the first time in a while they put on high quality matches, can do moves that are just you
never seen before.
That you never seen divas do before, and it kind of keeps you interested. I mean, they're better than the Bellas.
Oh, definitely.
They're better than Naomi or whatever the hell her name is.
Naomi.
Yeah.
Naomi's good as hell. What are you talking about?
I don't think she's that great.
What? She's like I think she's actually the most athletic diva in the Divas division.
Nah.
On Raw athleticism, I think she's by far the best.
I'd say
athletic
Charlotte
diva.
probably is.
No. I think she could be up there for the most powerful, I guess, next to Tamina. But other than that, I don't
That'd be a good feud.
That'd be a decent feud, yeah. I agree. Price, you want to elaborate or give your opinions on the women's wrestling division in WWE?
What I think would be even a better match would be Charlotte versus Natalya versus Tamina. They're all daughters of wrestlers that came from before.
Yeah.
However, for the Divas division, I think that it's not getting stale. I think WWE is just trying to make it stale because they're trying to push. Everybody wants to see Sasha. When they brought up everybody from NXT, I think it was just way too fast. And who they're trying to push is Nikki Bella, and they're trying to wholly push Charlotte, like me and you talked about before, how she's talking about her father every single time. She's, that's all she talks about. She's crying and everything else. Completely different than what she was in NXT.
Exactly.
And they're not letting stuff happen organically. They're just trying to push stuff and make things happen, and that's not how you make things happen.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, do you think part of the reason why, well, you don't think it's stale, Price, so this is more directed towards Tom. Do you think it's kind of stale based on just what they're doing with Charlotte? You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to revert her to, like, the daughter of Ric Flair, and stuff like that, and it's always been like that?
They really shouldn't keep it that way. Yeah, Charlotte has a figure eight. Yeah, Charlotte has the entrance theme song pretty much.
I don't mind that much.
It's actually really cool. It's like a modern day version of Ric Flair's theme song. I like it. But besides those two entities, I think they should keep everything else about Ric Flair and Charlotte apart. Yeah, she's Charlotte Flair. That's great. Randy Orton's the son of Bob Orton. You don't see Bob Orton brought up every time.
You don't see a cast on his arm or anything. Yeah.
You don't see a cast on his arm. You don't see a cowboy hat on him all the time.
Yeah.
You should keep away from that gimmick as much as possible. Everyone knows already that she is Ric Flair's daughter. Yeah, I get, even like with the Randy Orton thing, they did have the cowboy Bob Orton come in with him against The Undertaker, whatever. But you don't need that. Everyone knows that already.
It's kind of a kiss of death. It's the same thing as you're taking a finisher. Like you look at, who was it? Vern Gagne's son.
Greg Gagne?
Greg Gagne, when he came in, they kept saying that they kept comparing him to Vern. Bruno Sammartino's son came in.
I think it was his brother, actually.
I thought it was his son.
It could have been. Maybe. I think you're right.
And they just kept comparing him to it. It's the same thing with
British Bulldog son.
Same thing with Mr. Perfect's son. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's a kiss of death when you just keep trying to relive the past rather than going forward.
Exactly. And that's why I think she was so successful in NXT is because she actually kind of broke away from it. Like I said, her name was Charlotte, and we talked about it last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. But okay, so Price, you don't think it's stale, right? So this will also be directed towards Tom to end off our discussion. What do you think would make the Revolution revitalized?
Maybe
anything.
Maybe put a Divas tag title in there because there's a lot of them, and there's kind of like empty space with them.
Okay.
I think that'd be a cool thing to do. I think they did that in TNA. I don't know how successful it was or not, but
I mean, I don't even know. Price, do you have input?
Yeah. Rather than everybody just trying to put the Divas under a microscope with every single thing that they do, And if they do one little thing wrong, they're like, oh, that match was wrong.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Rather than do that, if they want to sit there and they actually look at this and see that these girls are going out there and trying to make a difference, then maybe they can make the Divas Revolution actually happen.
That's actually a great point because I feel like when women wrestle, when the Divas come out to the ring, and they do one accidental botch, like the crowd will just hang on to that botch and just ruin the whole match.
The
like
entire thing's wrong.
Exactly.
But Rusev last night threw this whole thing where he went to go for a splash and he missed.
Yeah.
Oh, we just laugh about it, and then 5 minutes later, oh, that match was great.
Exactly. That's actually a very good point.
For our
Double
generation, the
standards,
greatest
really.
match that happened at WrestleMania that we all consider WrestleMania 25. There was a botch in that match.
Terrible botch.
There was a tornado DDT.
Almost paralyzing botch. Yeah.
That
You're
too.
talking about the DDT.
There was two botches in that match.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's considered the greatest match of all time.
Exactly.
Now, if women were in that match, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah. So imagine if Bayley and Sasha NXT do one botch at Brooklyn Takeover. Can't even imagine. That takes away from the whole match.
I would say on the Raw when they got up to Raw in NXT. If they
true.
messed
They're
up,
actually understandable in NXT. Yeah, you're right. That's why NXT is so successful. You're right, Price. I apologize. For me, just to close out my thoughts, it is stale right now because I don't like what they're doing with Charlotte, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. And for me, the way to revitalize it, make more women's matches. This is the deepest it's been in years. Like you said, I don't even think it was this deep when there was Victoria, Lita, and Trish. I think they were the only three that could actually go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
For
Mickey
me,
James was there, but that's
no,
really
she wasn't.
Mickey James was there with all four of them.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think Lita was a wrestler though.
Lita left at that point, yes.
No, Lita was.
She was a
a
manager.
manager for Edge.
Okay,
She
yeah,
had that
so,
one.
yeah, 'cause she had
But
the
she
neck
left
injury.
being an active every single week competing.
Exactly, like an athletic. Like when she came out, oh, this is gonna be a great match. It was just pretty much.
Yeah,
like
wow,
nostalgia.
it really was a three. It was. Yeah,
I think it was
only
us.
three.
Maybe, and that's just the way I look at it.
Maybe
so,
Jazz. Very, very
Yeah,
end of
before
Jazz's
Victoria.
career. Yeah,
But it wasn't as deep as it is right now.
That's what
You
I'm saying.
have
It's so
a constant.
deep. Even put
people-
a match on the pre-show. Do you
That's
know
what I mean.
Just to make two matches.
I mean, there's 9 very good wrestlers.
Exactly. Even
right
Alicia
now.
Fox is very good. Brie Bella is not bad. I mean, compared to what came
They
up.
were
Yeah.
compared to what they were. They're
They're-
still enough that they could have a match and actually.
carry it
Carry
through.
it.
And Nikki Bella kind of got the kiss of death from Daniel Bryan because she's
You
pretty
mean
much.
Brie?
Yeah, Brie. That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
Because she's pretty much like just looked at. Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna steal my husband's moveset, kind of like what Stephanie McMahon kind of does with Triple H.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess it happens. But
Yeah, whatever.
that's just the way for me. Put a little bit more matches on the pay-per-view cards at least, just to give these girls some morale that hey, we have faith in you, even if it's the pre-show or the first match, and then the other match is like the fourth or fifth.
That's how it was all of 2000 to 2005.
Yeah, just do that stuff. So that's just my thoughts on how it could be possibly revitalized because it's really, really deep. So when we come back, we're going to continue our show with our Punch Their Ticket, which is a Hall of Fame. And this week, the topics include Money in the Bank winners. So stay tuned. When we come back, it's Punch Their Ticket. Hey, I'm Rich Lopez from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Don't forget to hear our new episodes of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show on SoundCloud. Episodes are uploaded every Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble.
Gobble gobble, gobble gobble,
Gobble,
gobble gobble, gobble gobble,
New day.
gobble gobble.
Thank you. I was waiting for Price to interject there. It took forever. Anyway, welcome back to episode 34 of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. It's somebody's birthday in 2 days. I don't know if you guys even know.
Happy birthday, Hefe!
That would be Richard Lopez.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Price gets his whole script and everything. We all wish him happy birthday.
I let you put together a script this week.
I always good one. Anyway, this segment, we're going to continue with our show now. Enough funny business, I guess. We're going to continue with our show, and then this segment is going to be called Punch Their Ticket. We've done this a couple times, but we haven't done it in a while, so let's just refresh the audience's minds and our minds, because, Malloy isn't the greatest with these topics. We have a list here of 8 superstars, all previously successfully cashed in their Money in the Bank briefcases in WWE. So what we're going to do out of these 8, we're going to select 3 to go to the Hall of Fame if we were the panel, the Hall of Fame panel. So I'm going to list these 8. Bear with me. Hopefully I don't stutter or anything like usual. But we have Sheamus, CM Punk, Kane, Rob Van Dam, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, and Alberto Del Rio. I know you guys are thinking like, hey, Swagger, Miz, and Sandow didn't successfully, but Swagger and Miz successfully, cash in. I don't think they're on that level of these guys. And then I know everybody else is saying, hey, John Cena and Randy Orton cashed in. They're going to be guaranteed Hall of Famers. I feel like this is like the middle, if that makes any sense, like the middle tier. So
The mid card of 2010 and 11.
it kind of is actually almost. It's like the mid card of Money in the Bank winners. So, Price, since you were so late to chime in on the intro for this segment, give us your 3 that you would select.
CM Punk, Kane, Rob Van Dam.
Oh, okay. Why?
CM Punk because the impact that he had from 2006 to when he left, I just think that he accomplished almost everything that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Kane because, I mean, the guy has been wrestling since 97 as Kane, but 95 as Dr. Isaac Yankem. And even before that, he was with Smoky Mountain Wrestling as a Unabomber.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy has done enough for this industry to be able to be inside the hall.
Never forget, fake Diesel.
Well, that was
95.
That was 96.
95, 96.
96. I love you.
And then also Rob Van Dam because of what he did. I mean, he beat John Cena for the title.
Unheard of.
Right. He was in ECW and was the guy for ECW. And he pretty much carried ECW for a short period of time when he was there.
The WWE ECW or the ECW?
No,
ECW?
the actual ECW.
That's what I mean.
The real ECW.
The Paul Heyman ECW.
Not the what NXT is now.
True. Yeah.
ECW.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can't really argue with any of these guys, but I like your batch. Your batch of 3, Price. So, Malloy, follow up with him. Give me your 3.
I have Sheamus, CM Punk, and RVD.
Why is that?
All right, well.
No Kane?
Nah, dude.
All right.
I hate Kane. I'm not a big fan. Don't hate him. Just not a big fan.
Okay.
RVD because, that whole storyline, him and John Cena, like he was a heel, but he was a face at the same time.
I think it was more
was
a
great.
face than a heel.
No, he was a face.
Yeah.
But he
But
was
he was heelish because it was the ECW
Yes.
fans.
Yeah,
it's a heel and face at the same time. It was a great storyline. Overall, I loved it.
It's about the whole
I think
career, just so you know.
yeah, it took Cena to a different place at that point in time. RVD's career, I mean, it stands the test of time. He can come back at any point in time, and he's gonna get a very loud pop. CM Punk, he did a lot in, I think, what was he in WWE for 8 years?
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 8 to
He did
7.
a lot of neat stuff there. I mean, longest reigning WWE champion of the era. I mean, he Money in the Bank 2 times. I mean, I think he's the only 2-time Money in the Bank winner.
Well, at
technically
WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, yeah. And he got tag titles. I think that's all. Yeah, tag titles. Yeah.
Intercontinental title.
Is he IC champion?
Yeah, he lost to JBL before 25.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so CM Punk had a solid, and his promos off the chain. And Sheamus, because I don't know,
I really want to hear this one.
Sheamus just because overall he's just a big dude. He's a brute. He's just an overall. I think he's a great performer. Just needs a little mic work. That's about it.
Well,
but I
he
just
needs
love
a
him
lot of
as a
time.
heel. When he first came in against Triple H, like he was the guy challenging Triple H. It was great. I think they had a great match at WrestleMania. Then you look further down the line, he was going against Cena. He became champion a little too early, but I think
Way too early.
it was all right. He just had some overall. I mean, he beat Daniel Bryan like 30 seconds at WrestleMania. That was
18 seconds.
18 seconds.
Don't even bring that up because you know that's stupid. Price, do you think that's stupid?
The 18-second match?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a
That's the
terrible
worst
match.
writing I've ever.
Yeah.
They
I
went
mean-
from the sellers of
So what?
wrestling for the U.S. champion, and then going to fight for the World Heavyweight title the next.
They were
next
supposed
year.
to fight at 30 too.
It's
At
just
30
terrible. It's
as
whatever.
well. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank God that
I
didn't
totally disagree with Sheamus, but go on.
I don't know. I'm just like
I
a
like
big.
this.
I'm just a big fan of Sheamus. I think he, if he was used in the correct manner, he'd be a very, very successful competitor.
happen. Okay, so let's bring a little heat on this. You know what I mean? Price, why do you think no Sheamus?
Because Sheamus, what did he accomplish in a couple of years compared to the other people that are on this list? I mean, the only other person that I would argue that
Kane's the biggest jobber in the WWE
Yeah,
right now.
right now, but what did he do for the industry?
Sheamus
it
is the
doesn't matter
champion.
what kind of storylines.
Yeah,
they're in.
right now, Kane was champion in the Undertaker feud in 2010.
Kane was
for like
champion
2
multiple
months.
times.
He was champion
He
twice.
was champion for one day. He was champion. Oh, well,
He beat
he
Austin.
was ECW champion as well.
So he's a 3-time
And
champion.
he beat Chavo Guerrero in, what was it, 6 seconds?
7 seconds or something.
There
No,
we go.
I mean it beat the record, I believe. I don't.
Yeah, there we
I don't
go.
know 100%.
Well, the King Kong Bundy record wasn't really, one to uphold.
Well, no, I hope not. But I like this. I like this little heat. It's not me and Price. I had to spectate on this for a couple seconds. For me, I guess. Wait, are we done with the stuff? You guys?
Yeah, I'm just a fan of Sheamus.
Okay.
Just a fan of Sheamus.
Hashtag I'm a fan of Sheamus. For me, my 3: Daniel Bryan, Kane, Rob Van Dam. I was torn with CM Punk. Obviously, he's accomplished a lot. But for me, I just don't like the way he ended. I just think that's so unprofessional. And I know it's almost like, take your pick. You could side with CM Punk saying, hey, he was burnt out and, you can do he's a man. He can do whatever he wants. And you're right. He can do whatever he wants. He's a guy. He's a grown man. If he feels burnt out, leave. There's nothing wrong with that. However, look at it from our perspective. You signed a contract. That's the way I look at it. And I'm a big CM Punk fan.
I'm always
You
like, if you're
signed-
going to start something, you should finish it.
Exactly. You signed a contract. No matter how you were used or marketed or whatever, you signed a contract to fulfill that term, and you didn't do it. Like I said, I'm a huge CM Punk fan. Price knows that. But I just don't like the way he ended. So because of that, that's why I didn't pick him. So let me go to my 3. Kane, like you said. Price, test of time, longevity. Besides Triple H and Undertaker and Austin. Well, Austin really wasn't there that long. But besides Triple H, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels, probably, I'm going on a limb here, obviously, but maybe the 3rd longest or out of our generation, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
If that's about right. And he was relevant. Obviously, even with Yankum, that feud with Bret Hart was very, very pivotal. And then Diesel, the fake Diesel, that is. But then when he got to Kane, and that's from 97 to now, that's 18 years. So that is phenomenal. Rob Van Dam, like you said, the face of ECW at one point. Just the stuff that he did, and he was so creative with his moveset and his flexibility. I don't think anybody was ever that flexible.
He actually has a world record for being in the split and holding up weights.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. So
Yep.
that's another fun fact that I didn't know. But yeah, just this stuff in the mind, he was arrogant, but it was so in a laid-back way that the fans just resonated and connected with him, and it was awesome.
I mean, look at the work between him and Eddie Guerrero, too. That ladder match on Raw was phenomenal.
Exactly. It was great. And then even the ladder matches with Jeff Hardy were phenomenal.
Now, here's the one I want to hear.
Daniel Bryan?
Yep.
Wrestling. Just out of all these, I think he's the best wrestler out of all of them. Maybe, if I want to pick anybody, Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins is amazing. I don't know why. But Daniel Bryan, here's why. I feel like the Yes movement was just... It kind of means, for me, it was like a double impact. Like, it was a thing for the fans. I think it's when, like, the fans, like, hey, we got our way. Like, we pushed for this guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it made us feel important. Like, all right, we do have a say for,
Once in
that's what I
entire
mean.
time
Like,
of
I
being a
know
wrestling fan.
ultimately 100% creative can do what they want. If they didn't want to put Daniel Bryan in the match, they didn't have to. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But for us, it was like we just pushed for him so much.
That they had to do it.
Exactly, that they had to. So it kind of made us relevant. Not even that, though, but when he started doing the Yes thing and before 28, that was just a global thing. And I know a lot of people think about the Yes movement, and it's more like a slogan now. But before that, he was a great wrestler. Do you know what I mean? And I always feel like he was always lacking that charisma, but then that simple Yes thing just made him I don't know. He's like the ultimate underdog, even though how popular he is.
Right.
But like I said, it was
He's
either...
the reason everyone hates Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, for me, that's unfortunate because I think Reigns stepped up when he needed to. We'll save that for another show. But yeah, for me, it was either between Punk and Daniel Bryan. I didn't like the way Punk left, and Daniel Bryan, even as much... And that's the thing, too. Everybody loves him backstage. Whatever they throw at him, he's willing to take it because he just loves wrestling.
That's why Coco Beware's in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. So that's what I'm a big fan of. So they're my 3. Hope you guys enjoyed that segment. When we come back after another short break, we're going to do our PriMalLow remake, which we've been frequently doing. And this is going to question if anybody else would fail at cashing in the Money in the Briefcase in the past WWE years. Who would it be? Here are our thoughts when we come back.
Hi, I'm Robert from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, here to tell you about our Twitter account. Follow our page at PriMalLow Show for fan interaction regarding professional wrestling. Thank you, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Thanksgiving edition of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Hope you guys, before we even get started on this topic, I just want to say have a safe and happy holiday. Be safe during Black Friday, and eat as much turkey and watch as much football and watch as much as WWE Network as possible.
Because you can only get that for
$9.99. We switched
Thank
rules
you.
there. I wanted Price to do it, but I don't know if he was paying attention or not. I still love you. Hashtag I love Price. Anyway, this is our PriMalLow remake, and this is going to regard failed Money in the Bank cash-ins. The reason why, at Survivor Series, Sheamus cashed in successfully, and to touch on what I mentioned in the Raw recap, I thought he should not have. So, as you guys know, in the history of Money in the Bank cash-ins, there's only been 2 that were unsuccessful. Sandow actually got pinned when he cashed in, so he was unsuccessful. Cena, there was a DQ, so he technically didn't lose, but obviously he didn't win. And for me personally, I always think that there should be more, unsuccessful cash-ins because it makes it more unpredictable. So I just wanted to do this as a hypothetical, and we'll start with you, Malloy. Who do you think in the history of all these cash-ins that obviously were successful, if you could, rewind history tapes and say, hey, let's have him fail, who would it be?
Jack Swagger.
Okay, why?
I just think when he won it was not the right time.
Okay.
I don't think he was in the right time or place. I feel like if he was pushed now or when he was with Zeb Coulter during like the We the People movement, I think it would have been more relevant. At that point in time, to me, he was just like, he's kind of stale overall. I mean, I just was not a fan of him until he got with Zeb Coulter, honestly.
Okay.
He definitely couldn't grab that briefcase. It was so bad that they had to edit it on WWE Network and on the DVD.
That was
It
like
took him
15 seconds, right?
It took him 27 seconds to get the
That's crazy.
briefcase off of there because it was talked about right after the pay-per-view.
Maybe
Yeah,
he was scared
awful.
of heights.
No, he just hit it. He hit somebody's head off of it. I think it might have been Matt Hardy's head.
Oh, and it jammed?
And it just swung too far away.
Oh, okay. But,
But one thing I want to conclude more about the Money in the Bank cash-ins is I think more or less, instead of being such a positive success rate, there should be more of a positive fail rate.
that's what I mean. Well, I don't mean that. I just mean there should be...
I think it should be the opposite because
Really?
everyone that's pretty much there's 14 winners.
I don't remember.
I think it's 14 or 12, and 2 of them. So let's just hypothetically say I might be wrong,
No.
but there's 12 winners and 10 to 2.
Yeah.
So I think it should be maybe not 10 to 2, maybe not be 2 to 10, but at least maybe 5 to 7 of them won and 7 of them lost.
See, I think I would reverse it with you. I think it should be. I think there should be more unsuccessful because, especially ones that were not during a match.
Yeah.
Which I know most of them kind of are, but I don't know. I just actually all of them were pretty much during a match except the 2 that were announced. But
What was the one besides Cena that was announced?
RVD announced his.
Oh yeah, for the
And then
ECW Women's
Sandow,
Stadium.
it wasn't during a match, so that's why he lost. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense on a psychology level, but I just feel like if you're a champion, you should always prepare for the cash-in, so they should make it more unsuccessful than 10 to 2, like you said. Price, if you could... Well, the other question, too, I forgot to ask, but obviously you weren't for it, where would you keep John Cena and Sandow as unsuccessful cashing in competitors? But
I keep Cena the same because he is Super Cena, and that's one thing he's never done successfully in his career. And I would have Sandow win because Sandow was hot at that point in time.
Yes, I completely agree.
He was on fire.
Price, how about you?
I would have had Cody Rhodes get the actual briefcase off of Sandow
Okay.
and then cash in and actually won. That's how I would have done it.
Okay.
But for Cena winning, no, you should never win.
Yeah.
I have Edge. I believe it was after the Batista Undertaker feud that they were having. There was a steel cage match where they tied, and somehow Undertaker got back in the ring, and Edge came out and just speared him and won on a SmackDown.
Yeah, actually,
On a SmackDown.
Yeah.
Let that just sink in.
Was it Pittsburgh? It was. What I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, was, like you said, it was a tie, steel cage match tie. Mm-hmm. I think Mark Henry came out.
Mark Henry came out and gave him
then put
World's Strongest Slam.
Yeah, in the cage. And then Edge came out and cashed in. That's you. I'm surprised you actually say that because his gimmick was the ultimate opportunist. So I'm intrigued that you did that.
Well, I just think that if he lost, if any of these guys who cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase and they just beat up the champion so bad and then they just barely didn't win, or if there was a disqualification or something, that just sets up a feud that you could have with this Money in the Bank person, and
Anyway,
you could still propel them to the main event picture without them having the belt.
Yeah.
Which I think the
And-
Money in the Bank, as I said to you before, the Money in the Bank briefcase kind of replaced the King of the Ring.
We've talked about that many times before we even started doing the podcast.
But I think that
mentioned
it should. I think that is perfect the way it is. That baby faces or faces rather, they announce when they're going to have the match, because it's definitely a heelish thing to come in when the other person is hurt and to cash it in when they're most vulnerable.
Yeah.
But that's what a heel would do.
I like your points. You're spot on with the points today because you don't even need to. That's part of the reason why I say like they don't always need to cash in successfully, because say they cash in their briefcase and they don't win, they're already in that main event scene because there's a feud right there.
But I liked what they did with like Seth Rollins when he cashed in. What if Seth Rollins cashed in and that led to Roman Reigns winning? So Seth Rollins still lost the briefcase. Brock Lesnar still lost the belt. So the champion still lost the belt. So you still crown a new champion. So you had that hype factor.
That's true too.
So if they had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view still, you'd be able to do that. One of them lost, one of them won.
Yeah, that makes sense too. For me, I have Sheamus. But the reason why is because I was trying to think of past winners. Swagger for me, I know you said he was stale Malloy. He was out of that match. I thought he was the best, most fit, either him or Christian.
I would
I
even
believe
say
Christian
Matt
was on
Hardy,
match.
but
I just never thought Matt Hardy was on that cusp of believable title holders, or like
No,
for
not
a
even in
main event.
TNA. I don't think that
Yeah,
he's believable. He's
exactly.
always that Marty Jannetty of that tag team.
Kind of, yeah. It's unfortunate because he's really good, but Edge was really hot. Sandow was extremely hot. It was either him or Cody. Whoever won that was they were both hot anyway. Who else has won in the past? CM Punk was hot. Ziggler was hot. That's what I mean. Like everybody that won, they had even before they cashed in, but like even the matches, they were there was a thing about them. There was a presence, and they were hot or they're at least on a roll.
I really thought Roman Reigns was going to get it.
That's what I mean. I don't even know if everybody was so predictable that Reigns was going to win. That it kind of like, oh, who else besides Reigns can win this match? But I don't think people still would have picked Sheamus. Like
Who else was in that match? I forget.
Dude, I don't even know, to be honest with you.
I know Bray Wyatt interfered. Right? He wasn't in the match.
Kofi was in it because it was one person from the New Day.
No, Ambrose was in the match with Seth Rollins.
Rollins, yeah.
Cesaro?
Was Cesaro?
Yeah, I believe Cesaro was in it.
That'd been
and that's
great.
who I wanted to win.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's who I said was
I
going to win.
think Barrett and Neville. No,
I can see Neville. That sounds.
I forget.
Right.
To be honest with you, I don't even want to.
It's
make
too
a fool
far
out of
away,
myself.
too far back to remember.
Exactly.
So,
Or, well, yeah,
but if you
mid-card
know,
people.
you could please, comment or
Social
whatever.
media,
you know.
we'll
Or
give
whoever
you
you think should have won.
Yeah, we'll give you our information after this. But yeah, I just feel like when Sheamus won, there was just like he wasn't hot. He was like even when he returned and faced Daniel Bryan, he wasn't hot.
He wasn't hot at all when he came back.
That's what I mean. Like
He wasn't hot before the fact.
This is the push he needs.
He's just irrelevant.
He wasn't relevant.
And
since,
if he's relevant now, it's going to be because of Triple H, I think.
yeah, the last
It's
time
all
he was
about the
relevant
game.
when he faced
That's how you
Triple H.
play it.
Good one, Price. Good one. But that's just how I look at it. Like when you have to have like a role going. Like we both said, it's almost like the King of the Ring, and you can kind of get a vibe who's going to win King of the Ring. When the tournament.
Did you think Wade Barrett was going to win this year?
Let me finish. I was going to say in the 90s and 2000s. Let's not talk about the King of the Rings now because that's a stepping stone for mid-card jobbing status. But yeah, I just don't. Sheamus was just nowhere near a title. He wasn't even Intercontinental or U.S. Championship worthy, in my opinion. So that's why I have him. And I wish Sandow won. Cena could have lost. I didn't care about that. But the only thing I liked about the Cena cash-in is that it made CM Punk go heel. So when we come back, we're going to close out our show as always with our Self High Five. Malloy mentioned it before, the English Authority, and that led us to our Self High Five of favorite stables. So when we come back, it's our closeout Self High Five. Stay tuned. What do you know? It's time to close the show. PriMalLow Wrestling Show here. Your host, Rich Lopez, here with Robert Price and Tom Malloy.
Hello, hello.
What is up?
What is up is our Self High Five. This week we're going to do our favorite stables based on the indication that we believe there's going to be an English authority or a new revamped authority, let's just say that.
With the more British.
With a more elegance. All right, so 5 through 1, Malloy. Favorite stables.
All right, number 5, Shield. Number 4, The Corporation. Number 3, Evolution. Number 2, The NWO. And number 1, D-Generation X.
Okay. Do you want to explain any of those? Or, Price, do you have any questions on those? Or
No.
no? Explain a couple then.
All right, Shield. Best 3 group of guys that come up and to take over the limelight probably since CM Punk came in. I mean, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan came in. So for that, like, what was that, 4-year gap maybe?
Well, I don't know. Daniel Bryan didn't come up with CM Punk.
We came in, like, what, 2009?
Who was CM Punk? Or?
No, Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan came around. Well, he was in.
He was in the NXT
Yeah, he was in
kind
the
of
NXT thing.
laughable thing.
That was in
he used to do.
2010 too.
Okay, so well, overall, those two guys, like, to me, they came out at the same time because they both got.
And I mean, in
their
the indie
start.
scene, they're
Yeah.
together. I'll give you that.
That's why I put that. But besides those two guys showing up, I really don't think anyone was that caliber of who is the next, main event guys with the Shield.
Yeah.
The Corporation was just overall like the best heels I think humanly possible in the group. Evolution, who's before the Shield, since the Shield, who was the best 3 guys that come up since then.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Triple H reign as becoming a 13-time World Heavyweight Champion. You've seen Randy Orton being a 10-time World Champion.
12, I thought.
12-time.
Yeah. 12.
Something like that. And Batista's like a 5-time or 6-time World Champion. So, I mean, they're 3 amazing guys. NWO, I mean, Hogan, Nash, and Hall. That's all I have to say about that. And then DX, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, the best 2.
Or you're not even doing 98. You're not doing the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac.
No, I'm just doing 97.
Okay.
That was a perfect time, and it was a perfect storm. It launched
Still
Triple
my
H's
thunder.
career, and it also made Shawn Michaels as the top heel in the company.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset. When I saw you write that down, I thought you were going 98 route. So we have
Yeah,
we
was
have the
the-
same number 1.
I'm not really a big fan of. I'm a big fan of the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac. Don't get me wrong, but just not. I think nothing is better than the original.
Okay. Price 5 through 1. Favorite
Number 5 through
stables.
1 is the Heenan family. Number 4, Hart Foundation. Number 3, BWO from ECW. Number 2, Kai and Tai. And number 1, The Oddities.
Boy.
Number 5, the Heenan family, because you could have put anybody in that stable. And with Bobby Heenan as your mouthpiece, you were able to have believable matches. As long as...
To the top.
Yeah, if you were with him, you went to the top. If you weren't with him, you were never heard of again.
Yeah, he said it himself.
Number 4, I had the Hart Foundation because look at the group of guys. You have Bret Hart, who won the title many times, and he had the company on his shoulders. You had British Bulldog, who was a great tag team with the Bulldogs, and also, I mean, big strong guy. You had Owen Hart, who, I mean, tragically he was taken, but I mean, where would he have been still today? He might have still been wrestling. You never know.
Definitely
have-
be backstage or something.
Brian Pillman, who was very athletic. And then you had Jim the Anvil Neihart, who,
I think he brought a real nostalgia factor because he used to be the tag partner of Bret Hart. So when they were together, do you know what I mean?
right.
They
Whenever
just
I
brought
saw,
back like those old memories,
yeah, kind of. That's how I took it as a fan.
BWO, because everybody's going to laugh at this, but they were cheesy. Yes, they were cheesy, but look at the guys that were in there. You might say, okay, Blue Meanie was, whatever, but you're always going to have a Marty Jannetty inside of your group. You have Steven Richards, who went on from ECW, was very athletic, went on to WWE, had some great matches, went to TNA, had some great matches, was in WCW, had some great matches, and Supernova, I mean, he was very athletic, and he was like a cruiserweight for ECW. Kai and Tai, because they were the best group of wrestlers that came from Japan,
I agree.
and you didn't see that until Atami came back. I mean, you could say Tajiri, but I mean, Tajiri was a mid-card. Atami is a top-tier guy.
We'll see. Hopefully, I mean,
He
has
is a
that
top-tier
ability.
guy. He was over there.
Oh, I thought you meant.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Tajiri,
I
he
thought
went to his own company, and yeah, when you have your own company, you could bill yourself as
No, my bad.
anyway,
I thought you meant-
Jeff Jarrett.
I thought you meant WWE. I apologize.
Anyways, and then my number 1, The Oddities.
Entertainment wise, I can't
Luda
even argue with
Vachon.
that. I can't argue.
You put Luna Vachon with them. I mean, she was great. You have Golga, who came back, was Earthquake. You were able to give him one last run as being popular. You had Kurgan, who was a joke up until that point.
No, actually, I think it was reversed. But the reason why he was entertaining is because nobody saw that. If that makes any sense. Remember, he was with the Jackal, and he was like this gothic guy.
Yeah, he was with the Jackal, and before that, he was that combat guy and everything else. So I think this was, they actually pushed him because any big guy can't keep going. I mean, look at what they do. Look at the Great Khali. I mean, at a certain point, you stop working.
Exactly.
But Kurgan, awesome. Giant Silva, I mean, at that point, everybody thought he was Andre the Giant's son.
He was a basketball player. I actually just did research on him the other day.
Well, and then you had the ICP, Insane Cloud Posse.
Yeah, didn't they? I remember when they turned heel on the Oddities and went to the Headbangers, which was it was a cool feud because it was a cool mid card feud on how that happened. On an entertainment basis, I cannot go wrong with Price's number one because they were very, very entertaining and probably one of the best theme songs of the Attitude Era. I thought I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
My number 5 through 1. Well, I should say my 5 through 1. Heart Foundation. Number 5. Number 4. Wyatt Family. Number 3. Shield. Number 2. Nexus. Number 1. DX. 1997. I thought I was gonna pull a fast one, and it did not work out. Heart Foundation. I don't know. I just feel like they just kept so much traditional values in wrestling as a group. Probably the 3 best wrestlers of the mid '90s were in one group: Bulldog, Owen Hart, and Bret Hart. And if Pillman was healthy, he would have been phenomenal as well. Wyatt Family, it was just something new and fresh. And for me, Bray Wyatt on the mic with Rowan and Harper as his, like bodyguards, like, I guess, characters. It was just something new and fresh. And like even just their music and attire and their feuds that they had with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, you never knew that they could work like that for people those size because they're not small people.
Not at all.
Not at all. Shield, like you touched on Price. What'd you say? Oh, Supernova.
Right.
Who was a Marty Jannetty? Or no, you said Blue Meanie was a Marty
Blue
Jannetty.
Meanie was the Marty Jannetty.
For the Shield, there was no Marty Jannetty, I thought, personally. I mean, I guess at first you could have thought Roman Reigns was because he was so green and Ambrose and Rollins could actually wrestle, but then, the presence that Reigns had, once he got comfortable on the main stage, there was no weakness in that group for me. Number 2, Nexus, because I feel like if they were just...
if they let them keep going.
I can almost cry right now because of the potential that they had, and everybody knows it.
And you look at everybody inside that group.
Yep. They could all wrestle, and they're just not used right. For me, personally. I think so. Heath Slater's phenomenal, I think. Not take away the gimmick. He was good, I think.
He's still good.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But
He was great in 3-man band.
that's what I mean. Like,
He was so good that they kept him and fired the other 2.
Exactly. That's how good he was. Justin Gabriel was amazing.
They should never let him go.
They should never let him go.
PJ Black.
Yeah. If Wade Barrett's been bothered by injuries, but I don't think people realize how hot he was when he was a leader of Nexus.
He was supposed to get the briefcase twice.
Yep, twice. And if Cena, I know if Cena can go back in time and do that SummerSlam 2010.
He would do everything the same. Don't say that.
Dude, he said it himself.
He wouldn't do that.
Dude, if you go on Jericho's podcast with Edge, they said that they both argued against Cena because Cena didn't want to lose to Nexus.
And then after the fact,
That's what I'm
he
saying.
came back and he said, "Oh yeah, you guys were right."
That's what I'm saying. If he can go back in time, he would have changed it.
I don't think he would have.
I think he would have. And then my number 1, DX, 1997's version. 1998 was entertaining with all the parodies and stuff like that. But 1997's was so edgy, it literally transformed the New Generation era to the Attitude Era based on just their video alone in, the stripper, graphics and the demolition of the building graphics and the stuff that Shawn Michaels was doing was so entertaining and graphic and awesome to watch. It was just fun.
I have one question for you, though. Despite the fact of the NWO that there was 1,000 members in it at one point in time, the original NWO versus the original D-Generation X, and pick maybe one of the Outlaws or X-Pac to join DX, who do you think would have came out on top?
Well, you don't need to have a third member of D-Generation X because you would have China.
Yeah.
Or
Ravishing Rick Rude.
I literally, for some reason, I don't, maybe it's because it was it's going to come off really bad, but I mean, I do appreciate what they did, I guess, because it turned Hulk Hogan face to heel. But I honestly don't know what the big deal about the NWO was. That was so edgy.
It was edgy because they came over from WWE.
But that's way before the NWO started, I thought. I mean, after the initiation.
Once
because,
they gave the name and gimmick and everything else, they were
no,
just the outsiders.
No,
The best
okay,
thing they did was
let me
have
rephrase
Hogan
it.
heel,
Let me-
so,
no,
yeah, you're
exactly.
right on that.
Let me rephrase it. The NWO, it wouldn't have worked if Hogan didn't turn because there were the two biggest stars to just turn over on a company like that. And then Hogan was the biggest name in that company's history, so that obviously made sense. Here's where I lost it, and this is where I don't think... It was only a month into it, I might add, so this is why I don't think it's that great. Why the hell would you put the Giant in the group?
Because he was the son of Andre the Giant.
He's not the son of
He's not
Andre.
the son.
I
That's
know.
what they feel.
I
Okay.
know.
I was
I thought you
defending
were
him.
serious.
I was defending him.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said that's what they were billing him as.
Yeah, that's what they built him as
I
at the
guess.
time.
All
That's
right, well,
why.
that makes sense.
But anyways,
then.
they put him in the group because he was huge and everything
I
else.
think that's stupid. They should have put
He was like the enforcer.
When DiBiase came over, Virgil came over. Like that made sense because if it's
They were
New
all
World
WWF
Order, they're all
guys.
WWE superstars.
However,
That-
Virgil didn't make sense because the Godfather was supposed to go over there.
Virgil
Well,
never
that's
made
Virgil
Virgil
sense.
did it for a third of the cost.
Well, that's why. But I'm just saying, like for me, as great as NWO was, for me it quickly lost traction because it just went like the three. I know they were trying to do recruitments. That's what they were billing it as, but I don't think they did anything edgy besides the initial grouping of Hogan and the Outsiders, and that only lasted a month.
Just think how cruddy that would have been if that was Sting.
That would have been
Not gonna
terrible. That wouldn't even lasted, I don't think.
I think it was.
It would have lasted
Sting's
for
awesome, but
for WCW fans. But I
not to
think
take
for,
WWE fans away from
the
WWE.
psychology standpoint, it wouldn't have worked out, I don't think. But yeah, so we're the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Hope you enjoyed the show. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe on Thanksgiving and on Black Friday. And what are you gonna say, Bryce?
I have one last thing to say.
Oh,
I have
I was gonna do
I had an interview with DDP this week, and his apps comes out Friday on Black Friday. The DDP Yoga, and
Okay.
also we were able to see the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. Great documentary. It's very similar to the Iron Sheik documentary that I spoke about on this podcast
Very
before.
good. That's a very good documentary.
So if you guys do get a chance to go see that, definitely go see it.
I'm sure we'll post the interview with DDP on our social media, which will lead us to our tagging, of our cheap tagging, like DX and Shop Zone all the time.
Hard Knocks and Cheap Pops.
There we go. Social media, we're on Twitter. Twitter handle is @PriMalLow Show. You could always, favorite, retweet, comment. Just, let us know what you think about the show or wrestling in general. We're on Facebook. We have a page, The PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Like, share. Same thing like Twitter. Whatever you feel about wrestling is going on. Do you think it's stale? Whatever. We'll talk about it. We're also on SoundCloud. We upload our episodes every week. So this will be up in time for your Thanksgiving dinner if you want to listen to some tunes while you're eating some good turkey and stuffing. And then we're also on Blogger, PriMalLowWrestlingShow.blogspot.com. I guess I do a couple blogs outside that. I might post a couple articles just to make it interesting.
We also have a girl's perspective.
And so we
on
have
there.
girls' perspective on Nia Jax in particular.
Right.
So look for that. And then also on YouTube, we also post our episodes every week. So we're all over the web. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like I said, be safe. I'm your host, Rich Lopez. Tom and Price. I always say Tom and Price.
Happy
Tom-
birthday, Rich. That's all I got to say.
Thank
Happy birthday and long live Gobbledygook,
you. Gobbledygook.
who I will eat on Thursday.
There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for episode 35 next week.